Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, or you can call me TT. This is the segment of the show where we talk about health more so than we do boxing. You can find me Monday through Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where we talk about boxing, all the latest fighters. We try to have a good time. On Sunday, we're talking about finding the health in you. It correlates good with my main topic, which is boxing. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and turn to. This is the segment where we talk about finding the health in you. And like my Monday through Friday show, I always do a water check. I'm not going to go in depth because it goes without saying. Make sure you guys drink your water. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate 100 ounces per day. Any adult listening to this show knows that you should at least try to acclimate yourself to drinking a gallon of water a day. This is everybody. Now, I don't, you know, try to give advice to people that's underage, but even I believe a person 16 and up can drink a gallon of water a day. It doesn't hurt, but you have to be careful. The formula is half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you weigh 400 pounds, 200 ounces. But who drinks 200 ounces of water? I think that's overkill. So here we at least advocate for 100 ounces a day. So welcome. And I think turned on phone line. Sure that they on. This is meant to be tested. I heard that ring. So the phone lines are open. This is meant to be an interactive show. Call in, ask questions, or you can get in the chat and engage in that way. Everybody watching me from Facebook, you're welcome to come over and join. This show is a update from last week's show. Last week's show I did because of all the emails that I was getting. Just to recap for those of you who are just watching the show for the first time, I've been doing these shows since October. I've talked about the health in regards to your body, how your body functions, what's the purpose, and stuff like that. I'm not gonna rehash any of that. If you want to check them out, you can go back and watch them. They'll say Boxing Fans Talk TV. They have an icon of an apple. I've changed up things a little bit. I have different backgrounds now. So, um, just keep everything fresh and interesting. But again, I did the last week's shows because of a bunch of emails that I was getting. Sometimes I answered the questions through my Monday through Friday show. And sometimes I say, it's a lot of questions of the same thing. But let me just go ahead and do a Sunday show. And that's what happened. That was my first Sunday show in a while. So this is an update. So last week, what I did was put people on a base meal plan because I had the questions that I was getting were diet, weight loss, and exercise. So I did a show. I said, well, you know what? I'll do a show. I'll talk about those things. If you look at my chart here, this is a chart that I go by, that I created. Talk about finding the health in you. Um, I would tell you when it comes to diet, weight loss, and exercise, it's about 60% mental. Even and I offer a program too, a meal program, or I develop a meal program for you. I break it down in three phases. But if you're talking about diet and exercise and weight loss, more than half is 60% mental. Reason being, as I said last week, you have to be mentally prepared to accept the new change and all that stuff. or to you know, dispel misleading information, to put facts that they put out, and they put a lot of facts out in its proper context. And I talk about the problem with all this information is the fact that they give it to you in a way that you're not able to connect the dots or keep it in context. And so because of that, a lot of people be confused and they go by what they think they heard and what they think you're supposed to do, and it becomes unsuccessful to them. And I tell you the reasons why. So again, I did this program, or stumbled onto this program or developed it, indirectly for selfish reasons. My selfish reasons were because I myself suffer from medical issues. And if I'd have known better, I'd have chose better. But I can't tell you or harp on or just can't. I gotta let some things go. But I can't tell you the reason why I wasn't told XYZ. When it comes to my medical condition, I don't know why. I had medical coverage. I went to the doctor, even as far back as childhood. Had the doctors just explained what was my overall medical issue that I will face in my whole life. Maybe my mom would have made different choices. They didn't even tell her, so and she couldn't tell me because nobody told her. And then when I got grown, I was in my late 30s. Nobody ever told me what the underlying issue is. As you know, in this country, is a problem with medical doctors treating symptoms and put more emphasis in treating them than to get at the root cause. If you want to change something, you have to go to the root cause. And so part of a lot of it is mental, and that part you got to get right. You got to get right within yourself to be able to accept the changes and to accept what comes from the changes. You know, and accept what you can and cannot do. That's kind of sound like that serenity prayer, and it's kind of like what it is. Help me change what I can, but accept what I can't. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to put your mind in that type of state. You know what I'm saying? And the middle part, it says 30% is what you eat. And we got a lot of cliches out there that says not how much you eat, is what you eat. It's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. And those things sound um just as they said or written, but it's hard to connect the dot from that. You think you can because it sounds that simple, but it's not that simple. It's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. It's not how much you eat, it's what you eat. Which one is it? So again, in trying to help myself, I inadvertently realized or found out information that's out there. I don't want nobody coming to the show to think that I'm, inventing the wheel or, you know, breaking some kind of news and nobody knew. The information is out there. The problem is how it's disseminated. That is the major problem. It's disseminated in a way that'll keep you kind of confused. And that's really all done by design. When you think about the exercise industry, that's $1 billion industry. If you think about weight loss, that's probably $1 trillion industry or close to it. And definitely diet, $1 trillion industries. I mean, these companies, it's never ending. They have repeat offenders. And if you want to make money in the business, you want repeat offenders. If your goal is to become rich beyond your dreams, you want repeat offenders. But I just happen to think finding the health in you, exercise, diet, weight loss, that none of that, I don't think it should break your pockets. I don't think it should be a thing where you spending gobs amount of money just to get what you want. I really don't. Um, on the show Monday through Friday, and again today, you will hear me at the top of my hour always talk about the importance of drinking water. I do it because if somebody repetitively say this to you, Repeating is good in some instances. So, if you think about it like how you repeat yourself to your children, you repeat it yourself because if you don't repeat yourself, they will go off on a tangent, right? They'll do something opposite. But if you repeat yourself, it stays fresh in their mind, and then one day it becomes second nature, and that's the goal that you're reaching. So that's why I always advocate for water. Before I get to exercise, I meant to do some light housekeeping. If you're listening to the show, I humbly ask that you please hit the like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching me on replay, do leave a comment. I read everything. I'm open minded, but I'm still TT. I'm me. So when it comes to my program, I don't want to sound like I can't be schooled or I can't learn something new, but my program is finished. So you sometimes I run into situations where people be like, "No, you should do this and you should do that," and with all due respect, from where I'm sitting, if I'm taking in that and that's how my rapport with people is, then I'm not finished my program. And I'm telling you guys, I'm finished basically with my program. I wouldn't offer it to you if I wasn't finished. Can it grow? Can it change? Absolutely. But I will probably do those growth and changes, maybe from something I pick up and this, that, and the other. But in other words, you will see me give a little pushback and not a lot because I do like to learn. I do think that I can learn something extra or new. I don't think that I know everything, but the program that I put it together to cater to the lowest common denominator of us, the poorest of us, and that's who I want to cater to. Now, can people in middle class or wealthy people or rich people do the program? Yes, it's meant to be the bottom line starter point, and you can take it way past what I'm doing, or you can do what I'm doing. But either way, I know how to do it hardcore. I know how to do it less hardcore, and even to the point that is non-invasive. So I normally call that slow walking or fast walking. So I could do it either way, and I know enough knowledge to do it either way. But I try to cater to people and factor in all the barriers and all the things that normally get in the way and derail people from trying to achieve their goal. So that's my purpose with this program. And what I offer is recipes or a routine that you can go on for a month. But I break things down in a three, basically like a 3 month phase. Now, that first month, your first month could be 2 months. But if I'm looking at the basic rudimentary of this program, and it's going to be like 3 phases: 1 month for one, the second month two, and the third month three. And after that, you would have learned enough where you can fly on your own. This is why I say it won't break your pockets. But there are people out there that I will consult for the duration, and it's probably more people like me. Um, I always say if you could go back and look at some of my old shows and get a gist of where I'm coming from. I'm a person who had thyroid cancer. I had my thyroid removed, and so that's the premise of where I'm coming from. A person who goes through is a lot different than people who still have their thyroid. Um, and removing any organ starts a chain reaction or domino effect, if you will, in your health. And so I'm talking to those people too, especially. But this program could work for everybody. So I hope you tune in. I hope you participate. So answered last week's question. Last week, all the questions that was sent to me, up to that point. And most of the questions that I did the show was for diet and weight loss. And we can't do diet and weight loss without talking about exercise and why it don't work. So I'm gonna have some reiterations. I don't know what happened last week. Some kind of way my show didn't show up in queue. So, I have families that watch my show and they were saying, I looked your show up and I didn't see it. So I was like, okay, what did I do? I missed a couple of steps. But as you guys know, if you watched last week, you know that I had one of my usual ER visits. And I seen, like, if I had to take, say, an average of how often I go to the ER during the spring and summer, it's like every 8 days. And it's serious. It's actually life threatening. But, it's part of my journey to figure why, because nobody can tell me why I have the situation that I have. And so I took it upon myself to find these answers. And even when they pulled my thyroid gland out 25 years ago, he never explained fully what a thyroid does. I can ask any of you if you're in your 20s or whatever, I'd be like, break down the thyroid gland. You're giving me a basic, somewhat explanation of it, but you really wouldn't know exactly what it all do and how it throws your whole body off when it's out of whack. And I always tell people, just remember, an imbalance anywhere in your body is an imbalance everywhere in your body. That's one of those sentiments that I talk about where you got to be open minded and ready for change, because a lot of people don't think of their body in the way it functions like that. They don't think of things like that. If you got high blood pressure, that's not good. If you got low blood pressure, it's not good. I also say the body is a balancing act. It is always doing it. It's always a balancing act. Throw stuff off. You imbalance not just that one area. You imbalance a lot of areas. So just because the doctor said, "Oh, you got high blood pressure," that's an imbalance, right? That don't. But he not going to tell you about the other imbalances because they don't come up. You don't know to ask, not seeing anything that would make you ask, and neither are they. So it goes unnoticed until it gets to the point that it's detrimental. So this is why I say finding a healthy you, my approach to even the question of diet, exercise, and weight loss is finding your health. I don't approach it like everybody else. Now let's get to the exercise part. 10% exercise. If you're an elite athlete, you definitely need to be a gym rat and exercising and this, that, and the other, because you're competing at a higher level of physical conditioning. You should want to get up and be conditioned. Be conditioned, be able to walk several miles, be able to run if you had to, you know, be conditioned, work with your own body weight. That's the thing that I find in America a lot of us can't do. We can't even pull up our own body weight. We can't do nothing with our own body weight. And everybody should be able to manipulate and do things with their own body weight. So exercise is good for all those reasons. Plus, you don't want to be putting yourself in a state of atrophy where damn near seem like you're paralyzed, like you can't even move your legs or whatever. If you don't use it, you will lose it. So you will hear me say a lot of cliches, but those cliches were invented or said for a reason, and the person had ample good reason for starting that cliche. It's almost like it's just a lost art that we haven't carried on, and I'm aiming to bring all of that back because it does mean something. So out of 30 that I got, 4 people participated. I'll get back to that in a minute. So I told you what I do. I offer a program where I specifically cater a routine specifically for you, but I do it to address your medical issue or whatever. Now, I have to say in full disclosure, I'm not a doctor. I'm a well learned person, but I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a nurse, and I'm not a dietitian. But I'm well learned, and I've taken like medical classes, like anatomy and stuff like that. So I know what I'm speaking of, and I also have the best thing, which is experience. My goal is to help folks because I wish I had somebody like me in my ear when I was going through my medical issues 25 years ago. I did not. So it's taken me this long to learn a lot of things that I should have learned a long time ago. Plus, with my job, being a parent, and running my household, don't give a lot of time to focus on certain things that's concerning you. If you're the person that's holding it down in your home and you're sick, and your health is in question, if you're 20, 22, it might not seem like a big deal, but you will get older and you have to ask yourself, if something happened to me, who's going to step in, take my place? You understand? And for that answer for me was nobody. So this was sent me on the journey to do this stuff. And and sometimes if you go through a traumatic situation or issue, um, no matter how severe or it is, if you get through to the other side and you're good, you're better off on the other side, then maybe you were supposed to go through that to be a testimony or to testify because somebody else is going through what you're going through and they could use your help. So that's another reason why I do it. Now, last week I offered a meal plan, and you don't need to worry about it because in these meal plans, I know a lot of people be like, ah, yeah, right, whatever. But if you think about it, a lot of you guys go out and purchase, these quick fix things all the time, and I'm not offering that. I'm not offering that. There is no shortcut, but I will tell you this: it does. The results you want does happen way faster than you think with my program. Again, I didn't invent nothing. The information has always been out there. What I did was did a lot of research and learn how to connect the dots. And I had a lot of aha moments. And a lot of us, if you don't even know that you're being steered wrong or misled, you're not gonna have no aha moment. You're not gonna even know you need an aha moment. So this journey has been quite interesting. Sad at times, but quite interesting. And like I said, you buy your own material. So nobody's pulling a fast one on you. You buying your own material. And when I say material, your own food, or whatever device you need to put your food together. You're buying that. So it's not nothing fugazi over here. It's legit, straight up, actual factual. I did the leg work. I did a lot of work. That you, yes, I'm talking to you. You didn't want to do, or maybe you don't have time to do, or maybe you don't be thinking on the terms. But I did the legwork. So when I have a charge, which I will, it's because you're paying for my time and my effort. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And I'm catering it specifically to you. So I'm providing the service. And that's all that you're paying for. And like I said, I don't believe in finding the health in you should be breaking your pockets. And neither do I believe that diet and exercise and weight loss should break your pockets. But as I just told you, that those three things, diet, exercise, and weight loss, they're damn near $1 trillion businesses. And the people who run those businesses, they love it. And nothing will please them more for you to stay confused and everything. But again, research is something I do. We have a lot of people that might listen to the show or listen to anybody for that matter, and they are good researchers. It's an actual gift. It's a talent. Um, some people can do just enough. Some people can hear stuff and right away connect the dots. It has nothing to do with your intelligence, because I consider myself a very smart person, but even I cannot connect dots. that easy, but again, when you know better, you do better. The first part of the puzzle is to tell me what ails me. That part never got done into my late 30s. So you can imagine I'm way behind the gun. It could have been told to my parents. I don't know why they didn't. Not like we didn't go to the doctor. We actually did go to the doctor often, had checkups every year. For some reason, it was decided by whatever doctor to not tell me. It's not like I had the same doctor. I would see different doctors. Maybe the next doctor thought that the previous doctor told us. It never came up. It was never told. I joined the military, got through boot camp, all that stuff, and checked from the Rudy to the Tootie, and nothing was told to me there either. Don't know why. I shouldn't have been like a secret. I mean, if it's concerning me, don't you think I should know? But by me not knowing, I was doing things that was hurting me in the long run, and it caught up with me quick. Some people have bodies that can take a lot of damage, or sustain or withstand damage, and some people don't. I'm one of those people that my body can't take damage, or don't want to sustain itself when I'm damaging myself. And yes, what you eat can be a form of damaging yourself. And like I said, some of us, it happens real quick. Some of us, it'll happen slower. Some of us will make it to 70 or 80 before it kicks in. And you will attribute that them issues then to being old. And it's not because you're old. But you done lived your life, you done had your fun, and you feel like you don't have no regrets. You just be like, I'm older now. But again, the food industry companies, the exercise industry, the diet, weight loss, all that good stuff, they already know this. They know this. They will give you all the information, but they won't give it in sequence. So I'm gonna give an example. Remember a long time ago, now, maybe not that long ago, but Garcinia Cambogia was the hottest thing going on. You had celebrities giving their testimonies. It's like, yo, this is what I use. You see this one celebrity, they used to be kind of chunky butt, and now they really, really small. And they be like, yeah, I use this Garcinia. And Garcinia probably hired them to say that. You know, Maybe they do use it, but they probably hired them to say that. And then, you know, they're out there, they say that, and, everybody emulates or want to emulate a celebrity. So you like, I like how she look. I want to look just like her. So, oh, she uses this. So I'm going to use it too, because then I'm going to have the same results as her. You missed the part of the class where they said, you are uniquely you. You heard it. It's not like you didn't accept it, but it kind of escapes your mind when you seeing something that you want. What worked for her might not work for you, and vice versa. So you can say, I want the results that she got. She got down to her slimmest. She looked fit. She's healthy. She's in the gym. I'm going to do everything she did because I'm going to have her results. So I'm going to take this Garcinia, right? But they didn't tell you everything. Meanwhile, them shits was flying off the shelves. They couldn't keep it in there, good enough. I was one of those people that bought it years and years and years ago. So yeah, I fell for it too. I've tried everything under the sun, to be honest. But I tried it too, and I was like, at first batch you buy, I don't know if it's a batch that they have where it's more potent versus the common batch that they send everybody. But that first batch seemed like, oh, this shit really do work. And I'm gonna attribute it to it being more potent. Once you become a repeat customer, they know they got you because they sold you on that first batch you received. Them subsequently, second batch and third batch, they don't work like the first one. So then now you 6 months into buying their product. They've rich beyond belief, and nothing happened that you wanted to happen. But yet your favorite celebrity said, "Shit, I use this." Or then you look at the testimonies of all the people that seem like they just like you who used it and it didn't work. Well, just to say this, the Garcinia Cambogia thing, it does work. There's companies that have little to no um, potency, and then there's ones that have higher potency. You have to look online to see which one of those that's best for you. But if you're like all of us here in America, we want it fast. We got that fast food mentality. We want everything fast and quick with little resistance, right? The part that you did not understand or get is that it works in conjunction with detoxing. Did you ever hear them emphasize that? They might let it slip. They know it if they told you to detox at the same time as you do this this Garcinia, you wouldn't even buy it. Maybe if you knew what detoxing really is, because you would know. You would say in your head, it wasn't a Garcinia, it was this detoxing. But either way, if you cool with just buying that pill or whatever pill they got on the market today, you get that. It works in conjunction with something else. If you're not doing that something else, it could be detox, it could be something else. But it works in conjunction with something else. But they're not telling you that. They are recommended, but you would look at it like, oh, they want me to buy this too, and I just want the Garcinia. I don't want all this extra stuff. They want me to get this and they want me to get that. And it be at the end of the page, but they're not telling you, hey, take this with that. It's the way they tell you. It'll be like, yes, a lot of people who take this product usually take it with this and they have great results and blah blah blah. That's not telling you nothing. What you read from that is, look, they just trying to make me buy all this extra stuff. They said it was $39.99. I got $39. I don't got $180 to buy all this extra stuff. But they got you. They got your attention because they said the magic word, weight loss. And you was like, well, I want weight loss. Buy this pill. It's going to do it. That's it. I ain't got to go in the gym and bust a grape. So you get into it. That's how they got you. But if you knew that you could change your fitness level or your slender body, make your body slender or fit looking without a lick of exercise, you probably wouldn't have been pressed for that either. If you knew that it's an actual way to do that without exercise, you probably wouldn't fall victim to all these get fit quick schemes, scam schemes, whatever. Because there's definitely a way to get slender really, really, really quick, and I mean quick. Does a week sound quick to you? Really quick, like But if you don't know that, you're gonna go for the pills, right? Now, here's some more fun facts. Doctors will say it's healthy to lose 1 pound or 2 pounds a week. That's the fact. Right? And we talk about normal standards, but you want that stuff to come off. I mean, what if you 200 pounds overweight? 1 or 2 pounds a week is gonna cut it for you. 1 pound a week is gonna get you 52 pounds in that year. You know what I'm saying? And that's what exercise. That's what exercising 3 to 4 times a day, an hour at least, or 45 minutes to an hour. You know. But then they'll tell you it's recommended that a person exercise 3 to 4 times a week for 45 minutes. Anything over that is overkill. That's a fact. But they're talking about people who are already in shape where they want to be. They talking about maintenance. But do they tell you it? Do they tell you that in that way? Hey, in order to maintain your slender fit, it's recommended that you exercise 3 to 4 times a week for 45 minutes. Anything over that is overkill. If you heard it like that, you might not even look at that as the recommendation for you. You wouldn't even look at that as that's normal. But see, you heard it like it's recommended that you exercise 3 to 4 times a week, 45 minutes a day. And you take that and you run with it. And somehow you try to put that square into a circle and it won't fit. So that's why we were talking about why stuff don't work. Yeah. But you can count on folks in life. And this is the other part about my program. If you ever, know, get with me, you have to get with me through email. One of the suggestions in the pamphlet that I send you that's specifically made for you, I would say something like, keep it to yourself. I'm not trying to be secretive when I say that. I'm not trying to hide something, like, you know, it's an this is like a not so real program or something like that. And I'm trying to hide that fact by saying, don't tell nobody. No, the reason why I say that is because when you start telling people, you open the door to your own derailment. Everybody ain't gonna be happy for you. Number one, it's a lot of number ones on this one. Everybody ain't gonna be happy for you, and then they're gonna have suggestions, and they're gonna be offering up advice, and you're gonna have put it this way: have you ever been in a situation where you're trying to make a change for the better, and you've been trucking along doing everything the wrong way or not so great way, and you try to make a change for the better, and here come your friend with all this extra advice? Now, if you had that just in life in general, but think about it from a weight loss or exercise or diet aspect. Your friend watch you shove pizzas, burgers, fried chicken, all kinds of shit, cakes, whatever, eat late at night, all this kind of stuff that's not supposed to be good for you, and aiding in your being out of shape. They watch you do this and they never said a word, didn't have nothing to say. The minute you change it up and you start eating at proper times during the day or not eating at night or just changing up things trying to get healthy, they got all the advice. Oh, you should do this and you should do that. Oh, girl, you can eat this. They ain't gonna hurt you. Just take a break. It's all right. Now they mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. And you be like, you stop and think, you be like, why are you doing this? I just told you that I'm trying to do this program. So why are you telling me things that's contrary to what I told you I'm trying to do? Now, sometimes your friends, family can inadvertently, not on purpose, derail you, but it happens. And sometimes people do it on purpose, friends or family. And I'm not gonna get into why a person feels the need to do shit like that. Kind of messed up, but people do. Girlfriend, the people you least suspect. I was on the program when I first did it and I started it, and my friend was trying to hand me some chocolate. I was like, "Why are you giving me this?" And if I told her she did this, she would deny it. Also, during the holidays, she's like, "Well, you can eat this. It ain't gonna hurt." Okay, but you didn't research and do everything I did and came up with this conclusion and decided to go this route. You didn't do any of that. So how are you going to advise me that it's not going to hurt when it goes against the grain of what I'm trying to do and flies against what I'm trying to do? But if I told my friend that she did that, she'll say, "No, I didn't." She won't believe that she did that, but she absolutely did. So when I tell you keep it to yourself, it's to help you not be derailed. And let me get over here. Out of all the original, emails that I got, it's like some odd 30 some odd emails. Four people actually did it. Four people actually did what I suggested last week. And out of the four of y'all, one of you had tremendous success, like a big turnaround that really was a motivating factor. Um, they have solicited me, and we are now working together. The one viewer said, and see, I always tell you, I'm not going to tell your business. I can tell the gist, but I will never, divulge any privacy to even include your name, who you are. Your testimony is just that, your testimony, and I take your privacy serious. But I don't never say nothing that's too specific or I say on the surface with stuff. I value the privacy. But the one viewer said that they have a long way to go and have decided to do a more evasive plan. Remember, I told you I said slow walking, or fast walking, or evasive or non evasive. So I'm working with this person. Um, the other three had success as well. It was more than they ever had before, but they wanted non invasive way. And this is what I mean by, it's the honest truth. You got to be mentally ready. And I'll be working with them too. But I hope that, the 30 people that wrote me, 30 some odd people wrote me, got to catch the show. From when I look at the numbers, that I don't think they did because I didn't have 30 people watching. But I did that show specifically for them and anybody else who wanted to watch. But I really did do it just specifically for them. It didn't come up in the queue. I don't know why. I fixed it. Now, if you pull my name up in YouTube, I think it'll be not far to the right of my name. You know what I'm saying? 17, it was probably about like 17 people, 17 or 18, I can't remember the number, that caught the show. If others participated in the meal plan that I gave last week, I don't know about it. So I get people to rewatch. Once I do the show, it's in the can. I'm moving on. On to the next. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be going back and really like watching, but sometimes I catch a glimpse, and I know a lot of people watch on replay. So if you ever show and you watching me on replay, try it out. Try the plan out. I mean, this is what I call a non-invasive way. What I do is because I learned about food and how to combine it in a way to bring a certain result. That's pretty much what I'm doing. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I take food, I I put it together, and either the combustion of them mixing together, or just you eating them at the same time, things happen. And you can know that if you study the food. There's a lot of foods out there, and trust me, for years and years, I was studying them, studying them, studying them. I give the example of this. I used to take 15 to 16 pills a day, not that long ago. I studied some food for like 2 years straight. But as I'm doing this, I coach boxing too, and I've helped boxers cut weight. I as I'm doing this, I already pretty much got my program together, but my goal was different this time. My goal was I don't want to take 15 pills a day. 'Cause you gotta take them at different times. You can't take them right around the same time or they would affect the other one or count out the other one. All this bullshit shit. I'm taking pills all the way up to like 6 in the evening. I'm tired of it, right? So I didn't want to take, this is what I mean by selfish reason. I didn't want to take 16 pills a day anymore. But I said, but I have to. My medical condition insists that I have to. So I said, you know what? I gotta find a way to get off these pills. And the only thing I could think of is find some foods that do the same trick as those pills are doing. But that you have to do a lot of reading and a lot of research. And again, that research ain't for everybody. And that's what I did for 2 years. 2 years I did this. And it took me 6 months of application. And now I take 6 pills a day. Did I reach my goal? Hell yeah. I did. I mean, it would be nice not to take any, but two of my pills, I don't care how much research I do, it'll never be a day that I don't take them. Two of them, and that's my thyroid pills. But the rest of them, I'm working on the last four. But I went from 15 to 16 pills a day to only six. My doctors will ask me, and they'll say, for the longest time, they would ask me, what you do differently? I said, well, I just ate better. I gave them bland answers like they gave me. It's only recent times that I go into depth about how I eat or what I eat. You know what I'm saying? And I go into depth like, yo, this is what I learned and this is what I'm doing. What do you think about it? But in the beginning, I don't know if I had a chip on my shoulder, but yeah, I just eat clean. And they probably look at me like, you know, and maybe from a doctor's perspective, they like, so I could have just told this patient to eat clean. I'm not the only one with these issues. They got other people with these issues, and I'm sure they would like to help them. But they just, so I'm gonna tell my patients eat clean, and you can go from all these pills to just 15, 16 pills a day to like 6 pills a day. Mm. And I see the look on their face like that's not enough information. That don't even make sense. Explain further. But guess what? That's what they do to us and have been doing to us. Don't get me wrong. It's a method to their madness. A little bit. I had I heard, I'm sorry. I heard back from pretty much everybody who emailed me. Not everyone was convinced or wanted to switch it up. And that's okay. Again, I go back to the mental chart, the part of it. Not everybody want to do it. And I mean, I'm here whenever you need me. That's all I can say. Whenever you want, you know, to work through this together, and I always tell people it's 1,000 ways skin to scale a fish. And what I mean is when it comes to diet, weight loss, exercise, it's so many ways you can approach that. And they all work in their own little way. But you have to make sure you know everything you're supposed to do, everything you're supposed to eat. And anything, any diet or exercise program that you put yourself on for the purposes of weight loss, it will not work. And I'm telling you, it will not work if you leave out this one thing. This thing goes with anybody program, and that is drinking water. I don't care what diet, what pill, I don't care how they sell it. I'm telling you, there is no shortcut. You must attempt to drink half your body weight in water. And if you can't do that, shoot for something that is easily achieved, and that's at least 100 ounces of water. In my house, we go through water like nobody's business. Lord, like I will buy when I go to the store, I buy like 5 cases of water. And I like five. I like 8-ounce bottles of water, and I buy them by the case. I like spring water. So I buy that package. I'm stop saying their name. They don't pay me to advertise for them. But I buy the package, and then, you know, 3 to 4 days later, I'm buying another five. I think it's 12 to come in the package. I can do, I'm supposed to be able to do that in a day. You see what I'm saying? Now, I do the 8-ounce bottles of water because when you be drinking water and you take a good swig of it and all that, what you'll notice is that either you can drink a half of cup of water or you drinking right at a cup of water. I mean, it's easy to finish out the 8-ounce bottles than to finish out a 16-ounce bottles because you only drink half of that, which half of that is 8 ounces. So this is why I buy the 8-ounce bottles of water. I want to make sure I finish them, and I be counting one, two. We got a lot of plastic bottles around here that we can recycle. Another thing people do, I don't know why, and I don't know if it's because their journey they realize it's going to be longer than they thought. It's not going to be as easy as they thought, or whatever. A lot of people do not want to come through and give their testimony. That I can't tell you. I'd rather think of some positive reason, like maybe they're just an introvert and they don't, they're nervous with public speaking. Because if you come on the show, you're pretty much doing public speaking. Maybe it's because of that. I don't want to think that it's like they learn something and they just like to, they don't want to tell nobody. Like I don't want to tell nobody, like, haha. I want you to think that I just woke up like this. I really don't know. But I told you I value your privacy and I do not betray it. But the four people who did do the plan that wrote me back and said they did do the plan, they told me I could speak on it. They gave me permission, but I won't go in depth because again, that's their testimony. But I can give the gist of it. So I'm right on schedule, right? Because I told you I don't want to be long. Um, either an hour and no more than an hour and a half show. And so let me go into here and bring that back. So here we go. So I left the number up as y'all see under my picture. You could call in and we can chop it up or whatever. If you're in Facebook, you can call me. I got my Cash App. I got the top saying Finding Healthy You. Please, in my humblest voice, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and do hit the like and share button. And you can call me TT. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Um, so what is this? This is a label, right? And on the label, this is how a standard label look. Now, all of my life, this is how I look. Now, one thing we give America is America seem to have led the way in putting labels on their food because if you ever spent a considerable amount of time overseas, it's not quite like that. I think they're coming around. Maybe everybody in the Western world does this, but a long time ago, my first time living overseas was in 1994, and I'm gonna tell you, um, they didn't have this. This was not standard that I remember. You could buy a lot of products in their stores and they wouldn't have labels like this. So I just believe, and I don't know if it's true, that America led the way in putting labels and all that, and good for America for that. So look, you got the title. See where it says title? Nutritional Facts. And under it, it says serving size, one slice. And it tells you how many grams. And then it says serving per container. And it tell you it's 8 servings in that container. Those, to me, right there, you should pay attention to that. But back in the day, nobody really paid attention to that because remember the proverbial calories in, calories out. Calories in, calories out. Y'all know that, right? That's the one. But just in the way it's phrased, it's self-explanatory, right? but it is also confusing because they have you believe you consume calories and you burn calories. If you consume lesser calories than you burn, but you burn more calories, that's gonna lead to you dropping weight, right? And that's the pathway you want to go. Um, but I'm gonna show you where this is confusing in all. Okay. So you see where it says mandatory nutrients and it's pointing to the calories. Just because they say it's nutrients in it, and nutrients consist of vitamins and minerals, you guys, in case you didn't know. That don't mean that it's nutrients in it. They just said that. So they told you again, starting from the top, nutritional facts. That's what this label is telling you it is. They tell you a serving size, one slice. They tell you how much that slice is in grams, 144 grams. Then they tell you how many servings is in that container that pack that you bought. Um, then they talk about the calories. They say it's 320 calories, but above that it said amount per serving. Every time you see a dark black line, they move it on to the next or whatever. So right here, the important section, this section is talking about how many calories in each serving. They just told you at the top is 8 servings in there. So one slice is a serving. I think they talking about bread. Um, so it's 320. I don't know why it would be that high though. I don't know what the food item is to be honest, but let's just say it's bread. So they telling you for one slice of bread, you're gonna have 320 calories. And then they tell you on the side, oh, the calories from the fat is 90 though. The 90 is included in that 320 number. Then you go down underneath that and it's got the daily value in percentages, right? And that when over the side where it says mandatory nutrients, you got nutrients currently considered important to health. Daily value tells how food fits into a 2,000 calorie diet. And oh, that's another thing. I let me see where yeah, it's on here. They always recommend that the average person have a 2,000 calorie diet. When you talk about men to women, men will always be slightly higher than women. So if they saying if the minimum number is 2,000, you could plus like 300 extra calories or 400 or in this case look like 500, for men. But every item you go in the store and pick up is going to say 2,000 calorie diet. This is what they recommend. So for all of you guys that was out there eating 600 calories a day and all this stuff, you was derailing yourself and you didn't know. You didn't know why. You was putting your body in a state of a deficit, which your body has mechanisms for that. It will store everything fat, and that's why this is one of the reasons why diets don't work. And then it said over here under mandatory nutrients, it said 4 vitamins and minerals listed. And so they telling you, we only telling you about 4. You know, and I'm just pulling this label to show you how we have probably read it and misconstrued the information. But we didn't know how to properly read the label, which we thought we could. Everything seemed self-explanatory. If you look to the right and it says size, and these are bullet points, standardized amounts to compare similar products, household measures to visualize serving amount, and the metric equivalent, standardized wording, serving per container in specified increments. Okay, what do any of that mean? All you need to know is they're telling you a serving size, which is one slice, but they letting you know that it's 8 slices in there per this package, right? And if you look at the bottom left, calorie conversion. This section over here is giving a calorie conversion. I don't know how many of us, when reading the label, actually pay attention to this. It's in and they say it's used to calculate percent calories from fat, carbohydrate, and protein, and it's an optional feature. Who uses it? Hardly anybody. And then if you look to the right at the bottom, it's talking about daily values. And the bullet points on that is basis for comparison, basis for current guidelines, comparative values at 2 calories levels, consistent information. I know some of you could probably be looking at this in replay and say, why do we need a lesson on labels? But we all do because we all been reading them wrong when we think of the phrase calories in, calories out. It's not that simple. I use this example to explain why diets and stuff don't work. If you look at it, you'll see total fat 10 grams, and then they say 16%. I, those percentages is hard to calculate or do. I mean, I know they're good numbers, but what you gonna do? 16% of what? 21% of what? 6% of what? 29% of what? And it's saying daily values, and it's telling you to point down here. Total fat, calories less than 65 grams. If you're doing a 2,500 calories diet, then 80 grams. These are just guidelines and suggestions. They saying the total fat you should eat, I guess, 65 grams, saturated fat, 20 grams, or they telling you this is how much it is. If you look at total fat, the actual gram, saturated fat, 4 grams, trans fat, which is not good, is 3 grams, cholesterol, 15 milligrams, sodium, which is not good. You should watch your sodium, 690 milligrams, total carbohydrates is 41 grams, but isn't carbohydrates and fats about the same thing? So they got it up there twice, which used to confuse me. 41 grams, dietary fiber only grams, and sugars 3 grams, sugars, fat, carbohydrates, all the same. Protein 16 grams. So they just telling you this stuff, and it makes it look like they're an honest broker, right? And maybe they are, but it's not helping you. I mean, you look at this label, it, it can be confusing, or you could think it's not confusing, and you use this as a guideline, and your diet's never worked. And then they tell you in this container, it's got vitamin A, which is 6%, calcium is 30%, vitamin C 10%, iron 15%. Percent of what? It's a question I keep asking. Maybe I'm missing it. So then here's the old labels that I remember, right? I don't know why it's scratched out, but same thing, nutritional facts, serving size, and they tell you, and then they tell you the grams and how much that actually weigh. Because some people be into weighing their food, and then they tell you serving per container. They gonna always tell you how many servings is in that container. It could be a jar of beans, or a can of beans, or what have you. It could be jelly. It's gonna tell you the serving size, whether it be teaspoon of this is a serving size, or a tablespoon, or whatever. You saw this on the other label, same thing. Up here said percent daily values are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Your daily values may be higher or lower depending on your calorie needs. If you're an elite athlete, like an Olympic athlete, like Michael Phelps, he was eating 8,000 calories a day. I can't, even if I wanted to, eat 8,000 calories. And I would submit that most of you guys can't neither. But if you exercising like him, I guess you could. But nobody's being elite like that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Look at this. Calories, 210. But they saying whatever that number is, you're serving, which could be 1 or 2. If you eat just the serving, then you're gonna eat this many calories. That's the calories you count. Then they gotta tell you within that 210 is 50 calories from fat. Okay. But then they get into these percentages. And again, I'm gonna say of what? Of what? Of what? You know what I'm saying? And remember, the calories in, calories out. That require everybody knows how to count. But when you do it like this and you set a percent of what number? What you counting? Oh, I'm gonna count over here. And out of all this mumbo jumbo, just keeping with this tradition of this old label, the one you probably would have wanted to pay most attention to if you're a person that eat the Western diet, which most of us do, is the serving size and how many in the container. That got more to do with, how you spend. You know what I'm saying? If you like this particular item, then is it worth it to you to buy this item for this price and only have 12 servings? You know what I'm saying? Most of us buy an item, we eat the whole damn thing, except like a loaf of bread or something. But you need to pay attention to the serving size. You don't even have to worry about that part. You can if you want to, but the reason why I say don't worry about this, don't worry about total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, cholesterol, sodium, total carbohydrates, fibers, sugars, and proteins. Why? Why I never will pay attention to this? It took me a while. At first, I used to, but then when I come over here with this red box around this area right here, this made it negated all of this shit. It negated all of this because all of this is not over here. See how big this is? It's not over here with a number or a percent. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But if you're gonna be a person that pay attention to labels, pay attention to the serving size, what's in the container per container. That's for your spending. That's what I gauge that to be importance of. But serving size and how many calories. This 210 calories is how many calories if you just eat that serving size. If you eat all 12 servings, then 210 times 12. And that's how many calories you ate. You actually ate. And if you think about it, most of us eat a whole serving. Like if you get a can, just a regular size can of vegetarian beans, I love them. But it's processed. And the process of it all makes it not good for me. But I like beans. If I could find a way to cook it myself and have it taste like that, I would. But the sugar of it all and all this other crap in there that you can't distinguish between your tongue um, that make it overall taste good, you can't recreate that. Okay, so look, this is small, so I'm gonna try to read just some of it. Corn syrup. Look to the left. Do they have corn syrup over here with a number? So you have to ask, how much corn syrup? I can tell you right now, corn syrup is not something that has no nutrients that your body gonna want to use. None whatsoever. High fructose syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Another thing your body don't want to use or can't use. And then it says water. Okay, water is good. But sugar. Okay, I thought they already had sugar over here. That's a lot of sugars. Enriched, bleached, and unbleached flour. Okay, whenever you process something to the point that it's white, it's not good for you. Unlike cauliflower, which is white, very good for you. But bleached flour, bleached, there's no numbers that I can count up. And I keep going on and on. They got folic acid, riboflavin, coconut. Let me see. Let me go down here. Egg, soybean, soy, anything. Get that out your life. Get it out your life. You know. And then it said contains 2% or less of each of the following: cocoa, processed with alkali. Cocoa is, I think they're talking about chocolate, which is actually good for you. Real chocolate, dark chocolate, it's actually good for you. It's not bad if you had that in your diet. Palm oil, dextrose, gelatin, baking soda, sodium. Let me see. Egg yolks, cornstarch, not good for you, You just go down this whole list. I know it's a color in here, a food color. I'm looking for that color. There you go, yellow number 5. Don't eat no food color shit. That shit ain't good for you at all. Okay, so any and all this stuff, and I'm sorry for cursing, by the way. Any and all this stuff that's on the label, so they told you, right? Hey, we're transparent. We told you. No numbers beside it. So remember when I say calories in, calories out? Let's start with the first one. Corn syrup is not good for you. Can't really digest it. It has no nutrients. It's not going to absorb in your cell. It's everything you eat. We all know turns to sugar. Everything you eat turns to sugar. Your body runs off sugar. But if the sugar cannot be used, it turns to fat. So look at this laundry list of things. And when you see something this big, one thing, the first thing that should pop in your mind, that this is a processed food item. And you want to avoid processed foods, period. So calories in, calories out, right? How you gonna count these calories? They're not represented over here. Which one of these things is represented by the name total fat, which is 6 grams? Which one of these? Or how many of them? No way for you to know that. Yes, they're being transparent, but they don't offer any numbers. These percentages, at least their percentage right beside a number, but still, there was a time these labels have gone through changes over here because there was a time when some of this was just a percentage, and they begged the question of what is the real number? I can't figure out this stuff because 9% of what, 1,000, 9% of 100, 9% of what? And as I said, look at this laundry list of things. No numbers beside it. So here you are trying to eat 2,000 calories per day. And you're also trying to burn as much as you eat. Now, maybe you will decide, well, instead of 2,000 calories, I'll eat 1,500. I've known people to do 6, 8. I tried a diet like that before. They don't work because this middle piece right here, where the red is circle or boxed around, you can't count none of this. That's a lot of stuff right there that's in this product, but you can't count any of it. How can you calculate how many calories you took in? Because you can't count this. Some of you guys just hit aha. I never thought of it that way. Some people bodies are forgiven and it works with them. Like those people we say have high metabolism, or people who seem like they can eat what they want and nothing really ever happens. And some of us don't have that type of body. As soon as you mess up, it's gonna tell you on spot. If you think of it like how people can be passive or some people can be aggressive, some people will check your ass right where you stand, right? And some people will turn the other cheek. I know a little something about that. The most of my life passive. Ain't nothing wrong with being passive. It means you're diplomatic, you thinking, trying to think of the best possible outcome. And then you have friends be like, girl, you have to check them where they stand. You can't be passive. Eventually, time wear on, get tired of certain stuff, and then you gravitate to that notion. Check you where you stand. So, have I not put a curtain back now? How are you going to count these calories? They'll say some kind of way is represented in these numbers. How do you count them? Why even send you on a journey to count calories if they're gonna do this? This to me is another reason why stuff failed. The first reason was paying attention to this area, which he comments anybody with common sense will probably go right there because hey, there's a number. There's a number. Let me count up the calories. Put them in the apps that they built. The part of this label that you should have paid attention to most is the portion control. I know a person in my family that ate whatever they want and they never, they're an older person now. But and that's to say they considered a senior citizen, but they're in good health. All of their life, they did this number here. They took the portion size. I don't know if they counted here, but they always ate the portion. I've seen this person put 7 French fries, a bag of fries, took 7 good ones out the bag, set it on a pan like thing, a little small flat pan, put it in the oven and baked it. Person do not at that time never would eat no fried food. I don't know if they eat it now, but they wasn't into fried food. So of course, naturally they baked everything. Set it in the pan. When it became ready, and the other stuff that they ate, they went to this portion, service size, and that's how they made their plate. That's what they ate. Don't get me wrong. During holidays, they would eat like everybody else, but majority of their life, Monday through Sunday, 52 weeks out the year, they ate like this. But again, you got to count up these things too, but you can't. So, are you going to get an accurate number of the calories that you consumed or not? Some people see the label as just telling you what's in it. They're just giving you the ingredients. So they'll buy a whole. This item could be a can of, like I said, vegetarian beans. They eat this whole can and not pay attention to the fact it has 12 servings and it's 210 per serving. So if they ate the whole can, they ate all 12 servings, 12 times, 12 times 210, and that's how many calories they just ate. This is why it doesn't work. You see how I mean? They gave you the information, but it's misleading in a sense. There's nobody sitting there breaking that down. None of us really takes the time and break it down our damn self. So it's not, you don't want to get into whose fault it is. But if we not doing it ourselves, it would probably take them as a company more money to try to break this explanation down or just make commercials that break this down. They don't do all that. They want you to buy, they want you to be a repeat offender of this product. I like they didn't tell you this is recommended, and this is a good recommendation. 2,000 calories a day. If you're eating less, I don't know what to tell you. You will find when you find in the health in you that the more you eat, the more you get what you want. If diet and weight loss and all that was your goal, eating more will bring that goal quicker than anything else. And um also there's another thing. Now, this is what they say new label and this current label. This is what everybody's been used to. And as I showed you in the previous one that I told you from my memory, they had percentages under here with certain things next to it. But then up here, they always had numbers, but then they had certain things down here that have a percentage. And my question all the time when I see percentages is percentage of what? That's what I always say. And then they have the same thing. They see the 2000. If you look, closely, it's still recommending 2000, which is a good recommendation, as I said. Then they got this information under here, right? now, but they got the new labels now because they learned that people are, they that they were having trouble with these. They know that the way it was before, that people were not going to read it right. People were not probably going to pay attention, and people were going to try to do a diet where they counting calories, and they ain't gonna get nowhere. So they tried to do a newer label to emphasize certain things you need to be emphasizing about the label, but just to correct some of these misleading thoughts. But at the same time, they need you to be a repeat offender. I'll just always remember that. So if you read each one of these on the side, I'm gonna try to read them real quick. The number of serving per day container and the serving size declaration have increased and are now in a larger and or bolder type. Serving sizes have been updated to reflect what people actually eat and drink today. For example, the serving size for ice cream was previously a half a cup, now it's two-third cups. So two-third cups is more than a half a cup. But read that part, understand what you're really reading. Serving sizes have been updated to reflect what people actually eat today. Basically saying we are all fatter. So now we got to do a serving size that's more reflective on how we eat, how we actually eat. We are bigger, so we can't we can't use yesteryear's serving sizes and all this stuff to accommodate or make us feel good and how we eat today because we eat more. It said there are also new requirements for certain size packages, such as those that are between 1 and 2 servings or are larger than a single serving, but could be consumed one or multiple sittings. So in here, look, the old serving size, two-third cups, serving per container, 8. If you eat this whole container, then you have to multiply 230 times 8. And that was your calorie intake because this number calories is saying with all this other stuff rolled up into one, that's how many calories you get only if you eat the serving size. So look what they did with the new label. What they did is they highlighted in green, they put it up front to let you know off the top. It's 8 servings in this container now. Serving size is two-third cups. And that amounts to 55 grams. Because remember, I kept saying percentage of what? Percentage of what? And somebody must have said it before me because look how they corrected that. There was a time with this whole column right here where it said 10%, 5%, 0, 7, 13, 14, and 20 wasn't even beside this. It was somewhere down here with something else beside it. So then they in bold red, I don't know if it's color coded like this on labels now, but right here in bold and big, they're trying to show you how bigger it is and they list it in order of importance. So they're trying to show you that the calories 230 represents that one serving size, which is right here, two-third cups. So if you eat two-third cups of this item, you have eaten 230 calories. Calories in, calories out, right? And then they go down here and tell you how do they got vitamin D, what type of vitamins and minerals and this, that, and the other. And these are good ones to have: vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Potassium is very important for your heart, to keep track of because when your potassium drop or your magnesium drop, I don't care how old you are, you're running the risk of having a heart attack. So then if you look at it, say calories is now larger and bolder, as they did right here. Under the yellow is that calories from fat has been moved because research shows the type of fat consumed is more important than the amount. So the calories from fat has been removed because research showed that the type of fat consumed is more important than the amount. So they trying to say they got to tell you now what type of fats is in there. But look, saturated fat ain't good for you or trans fat. The total fat is 8 grams, which is representing 10% of what? I guess if you real crafty mathematician, you'll know. I don't know. Then if you go to number 4, where it said added sugars, it said added sugars in grams and as a percent daily value is now required on the label. Added sugars include sugars that are either added during the processing of foods or are packaged as such. Example, a bag of table sugar, and also includes sugars from syrups and honeys and whatnot. Okay, I just showed you on the previous label the high fructose corn syrup, that's sugary, and it ain't had no number. And even with this new label, they're gonna have that section on there. To continue on in the blue section, it said honey and sugars from concentrated fruit or vegetable juices. Scientific data shows that it is difficult to meet nutrient needs while staying within calorie limits if you consume more than 10% of your total daily calories from added sugar. Look, total fat, sugar, 5. Carbohydrates, 13. Total sugars, 12 grams. They just told you. Includes 10 grams of added sugar. So it's a total of 20%. So right here, just eating this one item, you have exacerbated your total day limit. And number 5, right in here, this list of nutrients that are required or permitted on the label have been updated. Vitamin D and potassium are now required on the label because Americans do not always get the recommended amounts. In other words, Americans are having heart troubles big time because of them not getting their daily amounts. And you don't even know what food to pick to get the daily amounts. So right there, potassium, they got 6% of 235 milligrams. These are small numbers, milligrams. 6% of what? Vitamin A and C are no longer required since deficiencies of these vitamins are rare today. Maybe we drinking a lot of milk, but milk won't bring you a lot of vitamin C or orange juice or whatever. Vitamin D, even drinking milk won't bring you a lot of vitamin D. That's the sunlight. Got to get it from the sunlight. Vitamin A and C can be found in vegetables. The actual amount in milligrams or micrograms, in addition to percent daily value, must be listed for vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Because these vitamins right here, health wise, can mess you up. And a lot of Americans are having problems with that. The daily values for nutrients have also been updated based on the newest scientific evidence. The daily values are reference amounts of nutrients to consume or not to exceed and are used to calculate. So these numbers are telling you what your daily value should be. But how much of this percentage is in this thing? Excuse me, in this thing itself. This is what your daily value should be. Um, and the footnote at the bottom of the label has charged to better explain the meaning of the daily value percentage. The daily value percentage helps you understand the nutrition information in the context of the total daily diet. So all I basically did was showed you how, even though calories in, calories out is an actual factual thing, if you sit up here and you try to use the label, it's confusing. And then this one right here is the clinch. Where's the numbers? Where are the numbers? How do you count that? And there are people who are sufficient in math and just very good at math and be like, it's right there, it's right there. You can't count, and yeah, they good. But they know the average American person is not gleaning any of that from this label right here. So I would tell you, if you're a person that continues to eat Western food, just how we eat here in the States or on the Western Hemisphere. No problem if that's what you want to do. Pay more attention to the serving size, the serving per container, and the calorie amount. If you're looking at the calorie from fats, if you just want to add that in or just understand what you took in, remember this number is inside this number. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, manufactured on shared equipment that also processes product containing tree nuts and peanuts. But they have to tell people that because nowadays everybody's so allergic to nuts. But whenever you see the word processed or stuff like that on any container, stay away from processed foods. That's an easy fix. Maybe some of y'all already know that, but just stay away from processed food if you can help it. So I basically took y'all through and showed you again why diet don't work, why people have a hard time. I don't know if that was understandable by some. The only reason why I reiterated because I had a couple of emails and nah, I still don't understand. I don't get what you mean by, like why they not exactly working. It's simple. You cannot count what they don't show you. If I gave you a math problem and a mathematician probably could figure this out. I don't know, but I'm trying to make it a difficult one. If I say 10 plus whatever number equals 10, everybody in here will raise their hand and say, me. I'll do the answer. I'll do it. Because 10 plus 0 equals 10. But if I say 10 plus what number equals what number, you will look at me crazy and you'll be like, you're not giving me enough information to do this problem. And that's all I'm saying with these labels. When you on this calorie in, calorie out diet, you're not getting enough information to count all the calories. So you don't know how many calories you took in, even though you thought you were doing just that. You thought you were counting it. You thought you had the right number because the numbers given, you see it plain as day. But because you were not eating a portion size and you were not paying attention to that part, like most of us didn't, but also you were not paying attention to all the ingredients it took to make this product. And the fact that they did not put a number beside those ingredients, you can't count them. You can't count the high fructose corn syrup, but it is something you ate in that product. It's a part of that product. And that high fructose corn syrup has calories. And when you ate it, it turned to sugar. And because your body couldn't absorb it and use it because it's not a real nutrient, that sugar turned to fat. This is why diets don't work. Most diets. But diets based just solely on calorie in, calorie out. That sentence is factual, but if you're not going to give somebody enough information, then how can they count the calories? You can do a guesstimation better of what you burn. Because when you have a deep sleep every night, you burn between 900 to 1,000 calories. When you go to the gym and work out a good hour, and I'm talking about a good little workout, not no elite level or anything like that, you're probably only burning about 150 calories. But you're sweating like crazy, so you think you're burning a lot. And sweat is not an indication of weight loss or burning calories. Sweat is an indication of your body cooling itself down. That's all it is. So all of this stuff rolled up into one. And then, like I said, you're eating processed food. Processed food will never give you an accurate calorie count. And then you depressed because you denied yourself, ate bullshit that you didn't want to eat. You didn't eat, like, some of these diets will be like, oh, take a couple of cottage cheese. I will never tell somebody to eat that. First of all, my program also takes into account what if a doctor told you don't just stay away from oranges. You will not get oranges on your recipe that I create for you. You will not get that. I don't negate anything a doctor say. In fact, a doctor would not have. I don't think will have a problem with anything I say. But and I also factor in what you like. I can tell you guys for myself, I don't like watermelon. I don't like watermelon. I never did. So I don't eat it. I like watermelon drink, watermelon candy, but watermelon itself, no, I don't like it. So asking me to do a meal plan for myself that include watermelon, I'm not gonna do it. But asking me to do a meal plan for orange or an apple or grapes or other type of fruits that I like, oh, I'm on board. So my meal plan that I create for you, specifically you, not my meal plan, the meal plan that I create specifically for you to address any health issue you have, will not have anything on it that you don't like. There's two pluses in my program. You don't eat what you don't like, and there's no exercise. But what I do promise you is that if you do an evasive, the fast walking part of my program, I promise people about 15 to 20 pounds a week. I promise you, you'll be able to do that. And I can say that with a straight face because I've tested it for 5 years straight. I've tested it with boxers. I've tested it with just friends. Trust me, I've tried it all. I've done it. I know exercise too. I used to walk 10 miles a day in the hot sun. I can tell you some of everything because, again, I was trying to help my own self. And I inadvertently just stumbled onto a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys, a lot of you women that I'm doing this show specifically for the ladies, because a lot of you guys have are the ones who emailed me. Just in full transparency, chat or people who watching. Uh, a lot of people tell me we're female when it comes to diet, exercise, and weight loss. Not that males don't want that neither. I know for sure the females want it. I'm a female, so I know. And I think some of them kind of be taken aback when I say, okay, look, this is how we're gonna approach it. Because they're thinking I'm gonna come up with an exercise program and it's gonna be all the traditional stuff, and I'm so not that. I said, okay, one of your biggest concern is weight. Okay, cool. Why do you think you gain weight? This is the talk that we have. Or I ask a series of questions, and based on the answers, I'll be like, okay, you know, I know which way to go. But 9 times out of 10, I never go the route of, okay, we're going to address your weight loss. Because I know that there's a reason why you gained the weight. And it ain't what you think. It's not because you're overeating. I've never in my life, and I've thought about this hard several times over. I've never in my life met an overeater where they're like 600 and 700 and 800 pounds. I've never in my life met one like that. Honest to God. I thought about the people that I know that eat a whole damn lot, always these skinny motherfuckers. Sorry to say it like that, but those are the people that I met that eat a lot. The people that got weight on them and stuff, they're not big eaters. And then and the people that keep getting weight and they keep going up as they get older, it's a reason. So together with you, what I do is I ask a series of questions to try to find out the reason. And when we find that reason, we address that reason. We get to the root of that reason. I don't worry about nothing with diet and weight loss. I know that when I address certain reasons or get to the root of the problem, guess what comes as a byproduct? Weight. Weight loss is what comes as a byproduct. So if I address the root and I fix that, or should I say address that, you wouldn't even have to try to lose weight or anything. It's just going to happen. Some of you don't even know your real eye color. In my research, I found that too. That a lot of us don't know our real eye color. Actually, lighter or something than what we thought it was. I've helped somebody. Nobody was looking for that result. And it happened. I was like, whoa. So I'm just telling you guys the way I approach it with my program. And it's, you guys probably look at it in replay. I'm not going to be long. I kind of went over to 1:30 because I said 1 hour to 30 minutes. I may do another show to continue, or maybe I just do an hour and then just let it be like that. But thank you all for emailing me. You can keep emailing me. I'm already working with some of you guys. Anybody who wants assistance, I'm telling you, my specialty is this is my little, if you want to call hustle. In order to save myself, in order to make myself well, I try to learn the properties of foods and figure out what foods should I eat the most of and how much of, so that I don't have to take medicine. That's really how all of this started. It's really, and then I was like, when I was into exercising and all this stuff, I was learning why women have such a hard time. And then, by taking anatomy, you learn the woman's body and how it functions. You be like, oh, that's why. A lot of us don't take anatomy in school. So, and you don't have to for most of the degrees or certifications you get as an adult for your job. So, I did. I took the class and did well. And I was like, oh, no wonder. It was meant for me to go on this journey. And again, I do it because I'm sharing what I learned. The only reason I charge because you're paying for my time and effort and me putting together a routine plan specifically made for you. That's right. I'm talking to you specifically for you. It's real. If anybody out there want to do the evasive plan or the fast walking plan, hit me up in the email boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. Hold on. Let me see if I ever had. What is that? There it is. I got it up here scrolling at the bottom. And it's talking about my show. But you see where it said boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. You can hit me up there. We'll have a discussion through email. I will ask a series of questions. I've helped a lot of people that watches my show. They didn't want to say nothing, but I'm telling you, y'all will be surprised who jumped in the email and asked for help, and I thanked them for it, and I was glad to do it. I like I said again, I charge you for my services. That's it. Once you pay, there's nothing else I'm gonna charge you with. Like talking about it, that's something drastic happening. There's really nothing else I can charge anybody for. I'm gonna put it's the one charge, and I'm gonna give you a program for they come in 3 phases. And trust you me, any of you ladies or men who want to lose 15 to 20 pounds in 1 week, I'll let you go. But we're gonna approach it in a way that you probably never approached it. It's true. It's factual. It can happen. Do it all the time. But anywho, thanks for watching. I'm gonna sign out. As I said, I didn't want to be long. And thank you for listening and going through the labels. Some of you who watch this, y'all might start looking at labels differently. You cannot count calories when they don't give you a number. So that whole calorie in and calorie out diet, it ain't gonna never work. Although it's factual that 3,600 calories burned drops a pound. But how you gonna count the calorie? You have to take into account the calories you consume and put it get the sum of that against the calories you burn, and that's how many calories you burn that day. And when you reach 3,600, you have now lost uh, um you have now lost a pound. So that's all I'm saying to you. So just keep that in mind. I may do a show next week because this is a hot topic. Thanks to all the ladies. If you catch my other show with the meal plan, you can go catch that and you can try it. That's free. I gave that for free. Oh, the person that do want to go to the invasive level, they're not ready to talk about it yet. But how much they lost? 6 pounds. I gave a non-invasive plan for 1 week, and this lady lost 6 pounds, but she followed it to the letter. What I do promise, if you don't follow it to the letter, you ain't gonna lose nothing. If you follow it to the letter, you're gonna lose more than what they say is recommended or normal. I say between 2 to 5 pounds, 2 to 5 pounds, 2 to 8 pounds. I can't call it. Everybody's different, but medical people and the powers that be say 1 pound a week is normal. At best, 2 pounds a week. That's how much if you're really getting in your grind, that's how much an average person can lose. I'm here to tell you different. And this lady, she did it without a lick of exercise. She was happy because I'm sure that's a gain. She's never lost that much in a week. So now she want to try the hardcore way. So we're gonna work together. Thank you for trying it out. And like I said, if anybody go back and find that video, try it out. See what it do. Nothing to hide. It's real easy. It ain't expensive. Try it out. When you know better, you do better, right? Till next Sunday, if I do a show, catch me during the week, Monday through Friday, when we talking boxing. You can ask me any question, even when we talking boxing. I read off the chat. I try to pay attention to everybody that come in there, and you could call in or beam in or whatever, and you can ask your question. We can stop what we're doing and duck off into another conversation concerning health. But again, I do it because I'm passionate about it, and I'm just sharing what I learned. It took me 20 some years to learn this much, so why not pay it forward? Anyway, when you know better, you do better. Peace.